Well, it's 7 p.m. here in, dark downtown Bethesda, Maryland, the worldwide headquarters for YAA. And this is Saturday night with Zach and Ray.
Happy Saturday night, Pops. How are you?
I'm honestly, I'm fighting off a cold. And you?
Yeah, I'm a little tired from my 99-mile run earlier today. Tough, man. Really tough sledding out there. We are not going to talk about.
I bet you did that in record time.
Record time. Yeah, an hour and 4 minutes for 99 miles.
That's pretty good. So how many miles did you really run?
8 miles.
8 miles. Okay.
If you're on Strava, find me on Strava. Would be happy to connect with you on Strava. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Before we jump into the chat and tonight's stories, we're going to be talking about the latest headlines coming out from the banks on Wall Street. Q3 earnings season, baby. The next 3 weeks. Very illuminating into what's going on in the markets. And thankfully, in part because of a 2020 rule that was passed that forces financial institutions to make it publicly clear what their loan loss provisions are. We'll get into that in a minute.
And if they don't shed enough light on it, we will.
And we'll do it before the mainstream media does.
We will.
Yeah, we're going to get into that. I also just want to remind everyone before we jump into the show, join YAA.com and CarEdge.com. Those are the two websites where we can help you. Join YAA.com is where we have tools to help you buy a car, help you sell a car, get car insurance, get warranties, finance, refinance. We also have our car buying program. We also have our YAA Plus membership through the end of the month or until the end of the month. We're doing 50% off. For Plus members, come to the website, see what it's all about. That is the pitch for tonight.
I doubt it.
Yeah, I'll probably bring it up a little more time.
You'll pitch it a couple more times.
Join YAA.
I got great faith in you.
.com. All right, let's say hi to folks that are in the chat with us here tonight, Dad.
Okay.
And then we'll jump into the data.
I'm ready to jump. I've never been more ready to jump in my entire life.
Nice to see you here, Sean. Thanks for being here. Tom's here. Chuck's here with us. Derek's here. Justice, good to see you.
Justice in the house.
Marky Mark.
Yeah.
Christopher's here. Matthew's here. Ichu. Thanks for being here, Ichu. Jordan's with us.
Kimberly's here. Shannon's
here. Kimberly's here. Matthew's here. All right. Thank you, everyone.
Neil's here. I see Neil's here. Alaska Sound Guy. He's either on a plane or at the airport because he left New York.
I'm watching
today.
live on a plane. There you go. Love it. First ever YA stream from a plane.
Flying back to Alaska.
Jude's here too. Let's jump into it, Dad.
Okay.
This article was originally published over on Bloomberg, but I'm frugal. I don't feel like paying for a Bloomberg subscription, so I found it on Yahoo Finance. Ready to dig in?
That's why I didn't read the article yesterday, because it said it was on Bloomberg, and I don't have a Bloomberg account. And besides, Michael Bloomberg has enough money already.
Wall Street warns of trouble brewing in auto loans as prices dip. This was the headline story on a Friday evening, so I guess it's not too major news quite yet on Bloomberg.
2:39 p.m.
But this was on the front page of Bloomberg. Then let's read through it together. The largest U.S. banks are warning of trouble ahead in auto loans as dropping prices for used cars risk leaving borrowers underwater.
Oh, where have I heard that before?
This is not going to be. We're going to pat. We have an entire segment dedicated to patting our own backs. Okay, so just hang tight.
Okay,
hang tight.
Right. Okay, then I'll be good.
Wells Fargo and companies said that higher loss rates for loans it originated late last year contributed to an increase in write-offs for the period. Ally Financial, the second largest auto lender in the United States, saw charge-offs for retail auto loans quadruple in the third quarter, and Fifth Third Bancorp said it's pulling back on originations. We know that used car prices are starting to fall.
Yes.
This is the meat and potatoes here. The risk investors fear is that if consumers end up owing more than their cars are worth, they might stop making payments and let their vehicles be repossessed.
You don't say.
Let's hear it from the C-suite. There's been a real tightening in margins on new auto production on one hand, and on the other, there's been a decline in used car prices. Correct. That's the CEO of Fifth Third Bank. That's caused us to throttle back a bit on production of loans. Ally warned investors this week that net charge-off rates, so the percentage of loans that go delinquent and they never get them paid, may climb to 1.6% next year, a jump from 1.05% in the third quarter. That seems serious.
Yeah, that's 55
basis points.
Yeah.
Still, the rates remain below their pre-pandemic levels.
Oh, that's good news.
And the CEO of Ally says that the company doesn't need to pull back on originations.
It's not yet.
We still feel really good about the loans that were originating today. When Wells Fargo first started to see signs of higher loss rates on its loans, it originated just last year. The firm moved to tighten underwriting standards. We have seen credit availability for consumers go down
Yes,
as interest
become
rates
a
have
little
gone
bit
up.
harder. Yes,
And they wrote 40% less loans in the third quarter than they did the year before. Let me see. Was there anything? No,
they must have been writing caca loans.
really not good ones.
Yeah.
So I think the Ally news is probably the most significant. I'll jump over to the automotive news article. Where was it here? There have written 48 billion worth. Where was it?
I'm
Oh,
not sure.
right here.
There it is.
Ally
Thank God.
reported third quarter pre-tax auto finance income of $488 million, down 41% year over year, largely driven by the company's need under accounting rules adopted in 2020 to set aside funds to cover potential losses. This provisioning also takes into account what Ally anticipates to be a more normal level of loan write-offs in the future. Lenders have in recent years been enjoying fewer delinquencies and defaults from pre-pandemic levels. Ally's charge-off rate had been all the way down at 0.78%. They expect it to go up to 1.6.
Yeah, that's a big difference.
That's a humongous difference.
Yeah, that's 85, almost a full point.
It is a whole point. Yeah, it's about a whole point of increased auto loans that are going delinquent. And we will take a moment to pat ourselves on the back, and everyone that's been a part of the YAA
You
community.
did a great job.
So if you go to our channel, I know we make a lot of videos, although
yes.
I'm not taking shots at anyone here. The number of like hyperbolic, crazy YouTube thumbnails I've seen recently about the car market just makes me kind of sick. So sorry.
Most of them are from you.
Oh man, let me show you because you're not. I know you're not on YouTube like I am.
I am not.
So this was.
I try to avoid it like the plague.
This was 2 weeks ago, Dad. We talked about the CarMax
yes.
data. Let's talk about this again briefly. CarMax in their Q3 earnings, they came out and they said their financing arm was increasing their loan loss provisions. What was it?
From 35 million to 75 million.
If you haven't watched that video, we did a stream on it, and then there's just a 9-minute video. Go watch that video because it made it very clear that the stalwart of used car sales had to more than double their loan loss provisions for loans that were never going to come due, or never going to be fully matured, paid off. But Dad, that was just 2 weeks ago. What were we talking about 2 weeks prior to that?
Well, I don't know. Somewhere
right here, 33% increase in repos.
Wow.
So we were on this,
the headline is 33% increase in repos. But when you get into the nitty gritty, it was in the subprime. They've seen a 33% increase in repos in a certain period of time.
But we do
deep subprime.
To be very clear, though, if you click on this video, I'm proud of what we do. Okay, calm down.
Except for Mazda, yeah.
Calm down.
We'll give them a freebie. Yeah.
Oops. Go back.
Okay,
calm down.
Look,
that's me.
Yeah, it's only
literally the first link in the description. That is the data.
Yes.
So you can go straight to CFPB and you can see where I'm going to Command F 33%. 33.
Yeah.
This trend is even more pronounced for consumers with subprime and deep subprime credit scores. For example, 2022 vintage auto loans for consumers with deep subprime credit scores were 2.4% delinquent 2 quarters after origination, which is a 33% increase from the previous 5-year high set in 2020. So we source our data, damn it.
you unlike me, you don't just make stuff up.
No.
Okay, good.
But I think the point here being that if you're part of this community, you're more aware of what's going on. They're a month late, at least a month late on this story.
Well, it seems that way. And it would seem to me that if we could access that information, you would think an organization like Bloomberg should have been able to access it, well, a hell of a lot more quickly than we could. But yet, it didn't become an issue for Wall Street until a month later, and we've been on this bandwagon for considerably more time than that.
And let's talk about the implications. So why should you care? There's a couple hundred people here with this data. A couple thousand people are going to end up watching this stream. Why should you care that repossessions are going to go up, auto loan delinquencies are going to go down? And I'm going to kick it off with one that we haven't talked a lot about on this channel, which is the damning and damaging effects of your credit score going down. Yes. So many folks bought used cars at the peak of used car prices. And I'm not talking deep subprime, but just folks that bought a car.
People with really good credit.
Bought a car and ultimately are going to go delinquent on that loan because
they might not go delinquent, but
it's going to harm their credit score.
Well, what would harm their credit score is if they decided to stop paying for it because they were so far upside down in their in their loan compared to the value of the car. And part of the problem, if I may, it's the bank's fault. Okay, because the bank normally has lending guidelines, and they have gone so far past their lending guidelines to accommodate.
Can you explain what that means?
Well, typically, if you have really, really, really good credit, they'll look at what book values would be for retail book value, and they might go, okay, we'll finance retail book value plus tax and tags, up to, it used to be like maybe 120% or 130%. So if retail book value was $10,000, and they would go 20% above that, they would finance $12,000.
Yep.
Okay. And then they went to the point where, the value of these vehicles kept escalating so quickly.
In order to keep the system going, they had to loan.
So many banks went to 150% of retail value. So that meant, for instance, if you were in a $10,000 loan or $10,000 vehicle, that they would finance 50% above its retail value. Well, that's another $5,000. So banks were lending $15,000 on a vehicle that had a retail value of 10 and had a wholesale value of, I don't know, $8,500, $9,000, $8,000. So at a certain point, if things ever began to normalize, and they seem to be doing that now
rapidly.
Okay.
Actually, can you believe how quickly? Remember, and again, all I can ever think about when we talk about this was when the pandemic first started. And I was like, no, it's gonna be a V-shaped recovery. Like the chart will go down and then up. You know what chart is going up and then down? The Manheim Market Report one that shows used car price. It truly is.
Yes.
This change is happening very rapidly.
It is, and so those people that the bank financed $15,000 on a $10,000 retail car, that was really an $8,500 wholesale car, which now today is probably a $6,000 wholesale car, and the people still owe $14,000. Those people are $8,000 upside down or underwater, and some people might say, well, if I'm that upside down, they can have it. Why am I paying for it?
And again, the ramifications of making that decision
destroys their credit.
It destroys their ability to financially operate in our system.
Yes.
In the United States, it's credit system.
Yes, to get credit at a reasonable interest rate moving forward.
Dad, I was telling you about it on the show the other day. The poor gentleman I'm working with, 25% interest rate. I mean, we've got, I don't have it queued up for tonight, but there was a gentleman, he bought the new Kia EV6. The dealer raked him over the coals, 9% interest rate charged above MSRP. And I just look at that and it's like, you were uninformed. You found us afterwards. We'll do the best we can to help you. But like, if he were to walk away from that, he's screwed for the next one.
Yes. Yeah. It'll make it virtually impossible to be able to buy the next one. Okay. And banks are suddenly coming to the realization that, they stepped way beyond what they should have in order to accommodate the dealers and in order to accommodate the customers. So, this could be a very bad situation. Now, the Fed looks at it and they go, but it's such a small percentage. It's only like $3 or $4 billion of loans that could go bad. But that is next to nothing compared to like the Great Recession of 2008, when it was like 12 or 14 billion dollars worth of mortgage. So
trillion.
But they look at the auto loan sector and go, it's not that big. It just seems like big numbers to normal people.
Trillion, man. Trillion. All right, let's jump to the chat here for a couple minutes. Ashley says, a lot of folks, and Ashley is one of the members of the YAA team. When you become a YAA Plus member or for the car buying program, you can work with Ashley. We help hundreds of people each week. It's really incredible.
It really is.
They don't think about the repo remaining on their credit for up to 7 years.
Yes. Woo. Yes. When I first started in the business in 1977, I worked with a salesman, Frank. I won't say his last name. I hope he's still alive. I don't know if he is or he isn't.
Yeah.
But Frank used to say to customers back in the late 70s, if he suspected they had bad credit, he'd say to them, he said, you know, you're allowed up to 3 repossessions. How many have you had?
Oh my god.
And when somebody would say, well, great, I've only had 2, Frank would say, hey, thanks for stopping in. You know, because the truth of the matter is you weren't getting into your next car after 2 repossessions.
Yep.
And it was really difficult to get into your next car after 1 repossession. And then it became easier and easier to get people into cars and to help them reestablish their credit, you know, in the late 80s and the 90s. And that became a real big thing, secondary financing,
Yeah.
subprime financing, so that once people declared bankruptcy and once their bankruptcy was discharged, believe it or not, there were lenders waiting with usurious rates in order to allow them to get into their next vehicle.
Do you know whose earnings come out on November 1st? Or November 2nd, somewhere around there?
I don't.
Credit Acceptance Corp.
Okay.
That is going to be the biggest indicator of what's happening in the deep subprime and subprime market. Credit Acceptance Corp. What have they done to their loan loss provisions? Remember, we talked about it months ago now, because it was back in August. They were the leading. Credit Acceptance Corp is the leading indicator of leading indicators, and I think they added an additional like $130 million in loan loss provisions, up from like 40 million. It was something crazy like that. They like quadrupled their loan loss provisions. Again,
they know what's about to happen.
They look at the same information.
Yes,
we do. And we've got some, man, I've got some stuff to show you tonight. Please, everyone, stick with us. This is going to be really interesting. Victoria says, is it like the 2008 housing market collapse? Now it's the 2022 car market collapse. I
to a degree.
I think so.
To a degree. The difference is that, you know, if you're $8,000 underwater in a car, that's a lot different than, say, being $250,000 underwater on your house.
Yeah.
Okay. And so it becomes somewhat easier to justify continue making the payment on your car. So I mean, because back in 2008, 2009, if you were that underwater on your house, you just sent the keys back to the lender, and you could go out and rent somewhere else to live. It's difficult to go get another car. It's, you know, it's not like you can go somewhere and rent the car.
Look at this, Dad. Look at this. Chad, thank you for being a part of our community. Chad is a dealer. I personally have never worked with Chad, but he's been a part of our community for over a year now.
Yes.
Had a rash of recent 2022 car purchasers trying to get out of them already. Upper Midwest dealership.
Because people are beginning to realize the mistake that they made. And when people start to realize that, they become desperate. I mean, I've seen it. Dad. You know, I mean, anytime there was the gas prices really spiked, and people had those big trucks, and they would take whatever loss they had to take to get out of those big trucks to get into a more fuel efficient vehicle.
Yeah.
So yeah, you typically realize their mistakes a little too late.
I can't show this on the screen, but this is just Instagram direct messages from a guy who got just screwed, and I'm just scrolling, and he's I mean, he literally says, "Please help me out. I'm so confused. I'm so lost. Oh no." So we see it, we feel it. Yes. Oh, it's so sad.
And I don't know how it's tough enough to help people before the fact, and I really don't know how to help people after the fact.
Well, when you've already purchased the thing, it's hard to do anything, and now it's not.
Well, you know, because then you're stuck between a rock and a hard place.
Yeah.
But that's why it's important that people understand the ins and outs of buying a car. It just is, and literally, it's the type of stuff that should be part of a high school education. Maybe in your senior year in high school, they should cover basic economics and basic credit use in this country, so that people have some type of understanding as to how important credit is moving forward, how you obtain credit, what is a reasonable amount to set aside for payments and things like that. And you know, I don't want to blame the American education system.
Thanks, Dave.
But to a certain degree, a certain amount of blame falls on the American education system because we don't spend any time to a large degree trying to inform these kids in high school so they can be prepared.
Don't blame the education system, man. It's the whole capitalist hierarchy. We're not going to get too deep into it tonight, but like, you know, the education system is partly informed by the people who run it, the people who run it. Anyway, thank you. Thank you for thank you. Love this. Need this energy. Appreciate that.
Well, you know, if you hadn't chafed your underarm, you'd really be super hot.
Let's get, what the hell, man? Jude, thank you for the thoughtful contribution. No more tonight, Jude. Please, no more tonight. Seriously, genuinely. I'm working one-on-one with Jude, trying to help him get his car deal. And it's infuriating. The dealer Jude's working with won't send him the bank contract. Says, just come on in, sign the papers, we'll get it all done. And I'm telling Jude, I'm saying, do not go into the dealership until I can review the bank contract for you.
Or don't go into the dealership without an attorney there to read the bank contract with you.
Yeah, I will read the damn thing for you, make sure it makes sense. Then you're not like the guy in the Instagram DMs saying,
what do I do now? Help me.
I signed it. And he literally sent a screenshot of the TILA, man, the Truth in Lending Act boxes. And it's just like, dude, you made a mistake. And I'm going to try and help you make it not as bad, but there's only so much, man.
And people need to really look closely at all that. And if you're not 100% sure of what somebody is asking you to sign, slow the F down. Tell them, until I understand what it is that you're asking me to sign, we're not moving forward. So I need you to explain this to me in detail. I'm a little on the slow side, so explain it to me like you'd explain it to a 3-year-old so that I might be able to understand it.
Dad, you're not gonna be able to hear it, but you're getting a round of applause.
I didn't hear it. I need to get my drink.
Slow the F down.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah. I absolutely love it. And we can keep the video monetized. Well done, Pops.
Yeah.
All right, let me come back here. Dan says, I just don't know how the dealers are going to expect returning customers once they realize they're upside down on their equity.
Well, those dealers that really screwed their customers, they did it not expecting to see those customers again. The dealers like Earl Stewart and others that didn't charge above MSRP and didn't charge exorbitant other fees or packages, those dealers understand that they want to have their customers come back. And the other dealers just said, hey, it's like shooting fish in a barrel. Let's get all the money we can, and well, the hell with the future. Well, eventually the future is going to rear its ugly head. The people that they buried in these vehicles, when they want to get out of them, they're not going to go back to the dealer that buried them. They're going to go elsewhere.
Although we are starting to see more and more incentives. I've got a huge success story that I'm going to share here in just a moment. But before we do, Dad,
yes,
I hate to say it, but we're gonna dive into a story. If you are not on the entirely free, 100% free, this is not part of the membership, join YAA.com/community. Join the community forum. I think we're up to almost 18,000 people that are on here. So obviously the chat is awesome during the streams. The comment section is great on the YouTube videos. Join the community forum. Thousands of people helping one another. Andre posted this 24 hours ago. And Dad, as Miss Kimberly Klein likes to say, this one frosted her cookies, and I sense that it's going to frost yours as well. Hi, all. I am about to finance an SUV for 5 years, and at the start, the F&I manager gave me an above 6% APR for a great credit score. I told him I don't think that was a good APR for my credit score. I wanted it lowered. He told me he'd try and find a way. Then he sent me this answer.
Okay.
In writing. Great news. We got the approval for 60 months at 4.09%. This is an extremely good rate for this application. We did this by using the warranty for the risk adjustment and rate buy down. Can anyone tell me what this means? Do you want me to read Kimberly's response first, or do you want to go for it?
Well, I'm assuming Kimberly's response is, they're forcing you to buy an extended warranty so that they'll give you a better rate.
All right, let's look at what Kimberly had to say, and then Pops, we're gonna just rail on this for a moment. Scrolling down. OMG. And he put this in writing. This is non-compliant and can cost him not only his job, but thousands in fines to the dealership, even jail time. Holy smokes, thanks for sharing that with us. Here's how I would reply to the finance manager. I'm sure you know that tying interest rate to product is not only non-compliant, but illegal. I will take the buy rate that you receive from your lender. So frustrating. Then Andre comes back and he says, here is his answer. Hi, Andre. Total cost is $3,289, but can be adjusted if you would like to modify the terms of the contract, the extended warranty.
Yeah.
Currently, it's set for 60 months and 100,000 miles.
That's kilometers.
Premium amounts are above based on the kilometers you expect to drive. As long as the term is 60 months or longer, the program works. So the 2.13 APR difference of $42,000 he pretended to save me, he is making me pay a service contract that costs $3,289, $4,200, excuse me. Does he really think I cannot see he's making me pay more than if I took this overrated? It is illegal to tie the purchase of a vehicle service contract.
Is it in Canada? I don't know.
I mean,
because
if
you can't just say I got to imagine. I don't know what the laws are in Canada.
All right,
Canada
fine.
is not the United States.
In the United States, it is illegal to tie product to an interest rate and try and sell the consumer, hey, you need to do this because it's the only way I can buy down the rate. That's BS.
Yes, the rate that you get is the rate because the bank doesn't care. The bank is never going to say, oh, we'll give him a better rate if they buy an extended warranty. The bank would never say that. The bank is going to offer a rate based on what your credit history has been and the amount of money you're looking to finance. So the bank will never, ever dictate to a dealership that you can give the customer a better rate if they were to buy an extended warranty. Those two things never go together.
Never.
Now, a finance manager will say, and they should not say, but they will say, well, as this finance manager did, if you buy the warranty, I can get you the better rate. Well, you can't tie one to the other.
You put it in writing. They put it in writing.
The rate is a separate issue from the warranty. So either the rate was 4.09 and whether or not you want to buy the warranty is up to the customer. It's not up to the finance manager and it's not up to the bank. And the bank would probably prefer that you don't buy the warranty because, well, the bank has less exposure because the loan's going to be a smaller loan without that extra $3,300 for an extended warranty.
And if that bank's a credit union, they sell an extended warranty. They'd rather sell you their own. Like, trust me, there's so many reasons. And hearing stories like that, especially in the midst of what we're now starting to see with folks being significantly underwater as used car prices have tanked, really makes me question a lot of the tactics that were used over the past 12 and 18 months to help justify to some consumer, no, you need to pay this market adjustment. No, the only way you're going to buy this used car that's marked up over original MSRP is because you just know so many tactics.
You have to finance the vehicle through us. You cannot pay cash. And dealerships get away with that. And that was a big thing that I know that the Attorney General in Texas was looking into because there were so many dealerships tying financing to the price of the vehicle. And I think part of the issue in Texas is I don't know that there's a law that bans a dealership from doing that. But if you're selling something, it has a price, and how you sell it or how it's paid for typically is irrelevant to the seller. Okay. Sellers will, like, if you go into your local Apple store and you want to buy an iPhone for $1,299, you can give them your credit card and pay for the iPhone. You can give them a debit card and pay for the iPhone. You could give them cash and pay for the iPhone. They don't care. They just want to make sure they get their $1,299. And they know that there's an expense involved if you use your credit card. They know that. But I've never, dealerships suddenly saying, oh, no, the only way we'll sell it to you is if you finance it. You're selling a product. What the hell do you care how it's paid for?
Yeah, very frustrating. All right, Dad, let's continue on in the chat.
We went to dinner last night with your sister and brother-in-law to celebrate their first wedding anniversary, which is Monday. And one of the things we talked about was, thank you, that you know, your sister tends to be a little opinionated. You tend to be a little opinionated, and well, I tend to be a lot opinionated.
Yeah.
And I said that is probably one of the things that prevented me from going even further in my career, because I didn't care if you owned the store. If I disagreed with you philosophically as to how you were doing something, I would tell you that. I wouldn't. You could fire me if you wanted. That was okay. Okay, but like if I worked for a dealer who said, well, if they're not financing it with us, we won't sell it to them. Then we won't let anybody pay cash. I would have a conversation with that dealer saying, well, what are you doing? I mean, what do you care? I understand why you want them to finance it through us. I get that. But I thought the whole idea here is to sell whatever the hell it is we're trying to sell. So I would have been so opinionated working for a dealer like that I probably would have ended up fired.
Yeah.
Or I would have changed his mind.
Yeah.
I mean, because if we know as a matter of statistics that
I like this data. We're getting
that
the data.
86% of people who buy cars finance them, why would we want to piss off the 14% that want to pay cash?
Trust
They're
me,
not
man.
the vast majority of your customers.
Let's keep moving here, Pops. Let's keep
God.
moving here, Pops. Did you ever get fired? I guess you got fired once.
I got fired a couple times.
Yeah.
I had a dealer principal tell me one day, he said, I love your passion. I love everything about you. He said, but that mouth of yours is what's going to get you fired.
No, look
got
at
it. And ultimately they did.
All right, Dad, let's keep going here in the chat. There's a couple
I
interesting
had to be
things.
true to myself. If I didn't feel good about the people I worked for, I couldn't work for them. If I had to hold back what I thought, then I couldn't work for them. And if they couldn't, if they didn't have the ability to at least allow me to verbalize what my concerns were, the hell with them. I didn't want to work for those people.
No, I admire that about you.
Yeah.
I love that about you. And Hill wants to know, when will used car prices crash? I think it's happening right now.
A week from Thursday.
A week from Thursday, but right about now.
If you talk to my son, they're crashing now. Here's the deal. Wholesale values of used cars have been declining now for 17 straight weeks.
Yep.
We had some really smaller, more insignificant declines, and then we had a period where we've had pretty significant, almost 1 percentage point drop in wholesale values week to week for like 9 weeks in a row.
Yep.
So that over the last 16 or 17 weeks, wholesale values across the board. Now you have to realize there's subsets involved here. Some types of vehicles haven't depreciated as much as others, but as an average, they've depreciated probably somewhere between 10 and 15%, depending on the type of cars that they are. So we're starting to see, and we have been seeing, a decline in the wholesale values of these vehicles. We have not necessarily seen it reflected in the retail values that dealers are asking in many cases.
But actually, Dad, I don't even think we can keep saying that, because we are seeing the asking prices go down.
Yes.
And I've even got a Toyota deal, a new Toyota. I know that's different than used. I've got a new Toyota deal tonight, Dad, almost at invoice price. Okay, so the market has changed. I don't think.
Oh, the market is changing.
The market deflation. Yeah, I think you can essentially say that the used car market is in front of our very eyes starting to collapse. Has it entirely collapsed? No. But it's starting to. Let's do live.
And here's the thing that people have to realize. It was last year that wholesale values went up. Retail values went up, what,
30 plus percent.
And wholesale values went up 50.
Closer to 50, yeah.
Okay. And this year, wholesale values have declined
10 to 15.
Okay. Retail values
are down like 3
to 5%. Yeah. So the decline hasn't matched the increase.
But it's also been a short period of time.
But the good news is there's been a decline.
Let's do this live. Let's do this live, damn it.
I love to do it live.
I have not done any presets here. I've just gone to the car search, joinYA.com.
Okay.
/car. We're going to do days on market.
Yes.
Greater than 90.
Okay.
Do we want to do this CRV?
Sure, it's right there. It's the first one that
or
popped up.
or a Toyota. Let's do both. We'll start with
Okay.
the CRV. They're at the same dealership, Browns Arlington Honda.
Okay. Been on the lot for
98 days.
Okay.
Look at this price history, man. New vehicle back in April of 2021.
When it was brand new.
$30,480 was what it was advertised for right before it sold. This dealership back in July wanted $33,537 for a used one.
Probably wondering why they hadn't gotten it.
That has 60,000 miles on it.
Yeah, way too many miles.
That is peak hyperinflation of used car prices.
Yes.
And where are we right now?
Even at today's current value price that they're asking of $28,750, it's still way too much for that model year car with 60,000 miles on it. But the fact that it's been reduced $5,000
and $5,000. Okay, we're doing percent change calculator. Okay, folks, we're going percent change calculator because I don't want to do the math incorrectly live on the show.
Like I normally do.
Yeah, like we normally do. So we started at value 1.
Yeah.
We went to value 2.
Okay.
That's a 15% retail, because I round up.
Yeah.
On everything, Dad. It's a bad habit.
Okay.
14.3% decrease in price. Let's look at one more. And that's a Honda, David.
And like I said, that doesn't mean that the price of $28,750 is a good value. It is not. But it is a much better value than when it was $5,000 more expensive.
Absolutely. This Toyota is down to 32,991. The high water mark was 35,36. So down as well.
Yes.
I want to look at one more. Whoops, hit the wrong button. I want to look at one more.
Okay, we're in.
Load. There we go.
So it's the type of people we are.
I want to look at this. Lots of miles older Hyundai Sonata.
Okay.
136 days on the market. And this is a $12,000 car is what they've currently, $12,462. The affordable vehicle crisis, 2022, 2022. No, they're holding pretty steady on this price, Dad. They had it lower earlier.
Yes. And I would think that if you went in and you offered them the 10.5, which is probably way too much for the car, that they would gladly take it, because that car's not going up in value.
So pretty good examples there, Dad, of some vehicles that haven't changed on the retail side, some vehicles that have changed on the retail side. All right, but let's start getting into it, Dad. Too many cooks. Bought a new 2022 Mazda 3 Preferred trim today. MSRP was $29,425. I paid out the door, including taxes and tags, $29,000. 3.9% APR for 60 months. Did I do okay, guys?
Yeah, you did great. You did terrific. You know, I used to have a salesman that worked for me many years ago, 20 years ago. And the first words out of his mouth with a customer was, hey, well, if I can get you this car all in, including taxes and tags and everything, for the MSRP, will you buy it? Because, well, he never believed in holding gross profit. That was unimportant to him. So it's just let's cut to the chase. It's high if I can save you 10% off so that you're buying the car at MSRP, including all fees. Are we good to go? He was not a good salesman.
But in this market, that's awesome.
That's a great deal in today's market.
Let's look at one other great deal, and then we're coming back to the chat. Dad, I got to be careful. I don't want to share any. Well, it's on the community forum. I mean, OTD price for 2022 RAV4 LE.
Yes.
This is from Daniel. He posted this just 24 hours ago. I've been emailing all day with a guy from Toyota. The best price he gave me was $29,990. Here's the VIN, the dealership, my zip code. Yeah. And Daniel's saying, is this a good deal? We have the OTD quote here. I want to be careful. I don't want to zoom in on personal information. Yeah. $30,356 is the MSRP. They're discounting it $2,177. The dock fee $700. This is North Carolina.
No added equipment.
And there's no added equipment.
That's a pretty good deal.
Pretty good deal. Yeah. Brian sums it up really nicely here. Where is it? He tagged me on it. Where was it, Brian? I thought Brian tagged me. There it is, right here.
Okay.
This is the biggest discount in a Toyota I've seen in over 2 years.
There you have it.
No, I mean, at the same time, Toyota just came out and said they're going to cut their full year production.
Yes.
But we are seeing. I'm going to continue to
Can
cut
I?
cracks.
I want to share something with you,
Please.
because I read the minutes from our condo association meeting that was last Sunday, and apparently there's an issue. We have on the roof of our building 2 chillers, which they use to air condition the building, and one of the chillers is bad.
Okay.
And they've worked it all out. The insurance company is actually going to pay for it. There's a $10,000 deductible the condo's on the hook for. It's $165,000 for the chiller installed. They ordered the chiller last week. Because of ongoing microchip issues, they can expect delivery of that chiller in 50 weeks.
Wow.
It's going to be a hot summer at my condo next summer.
But there's another example of the continued chip shortage.
Yes.
It's not going to go away overnight, but if demand plummets enough.
There was something I saw on the internet today, and God knows you can't believe everything you read on the internet. but there was something about the world has no idea how bad things could get if. And it showed a picture of TMSC. Is that the name of the company?
TSMC. Yeah.
Yes.
Taiwan Semiconductor Corporation.
That if that could, the world could go to hell in a handbasket if anything happens to that operation in Taiwan.
Yeah, seriously. Semiconductors are still very important. Don't get us wrong on that front. Let me go here, Dad. Value Analyst wants to see the Model 3. And again, friendly reminder, and happily I will pull that up, but friendly reminder, the car search, among many other things we do, just entirely free back on the Join YAA website. But let's take a quick peek.
That.
Model 3.
Excuse me.
Model 3 prices had been through the roof. Let's see a Model 3 that's been, oops, not out the door price. I'm going to do days on market. We'll do over 90 again. Get one that's been sitting for a while. One that we can see photos of. This one only has 1.2. We'll do this one.
Okay.
Got 8,000 miles on it. That feels
okay.
Infinity of Suitland. Let's see the price history on this thing. There you go. Pretty significant drop there. $4,000 decline.
Yes. From August 3rd.
Let's look at one more. Sure, 40,000 miles. Another one in Infinity of Suitland. Here we go. They had it at 60,499. There you go, 55,000. Yeah.
So that's what, $5,000.
$5,000. So we're seeing Tesla prices come back down to.
And that doesn't mean that what today's asking price is a good deal. It just means it's more realistic than it had been.
Yep.
Okay. And it doesn't mean that you shouldn't still try to negotiate a few more dollars off if you can.
Absolutely. Let's keep going through here, Dad. We've got from Michael. He says, a used car I've been watching is down $7,000 over 90 days on the market. It's happening and I might bite now. And we've talked about this before. As interest rates continue to rise, if you're a finance buyer, do it. I mean, I hate to say it, but do it before the next Fed rate hike.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Because the math will actually probably work out where it makes more sense to have gotten the price now at a better interest rate than waiting. And
then if the price goes down, but the interest rate goes up, the two might, it still might equal the same payment, even though the price of the car was less.
Steven's got a great question. That how long do used car dealers have a car on inventory before they get nervous about moving it?
Well, the old rule of thumb for many dealerships was most dealerships had a 60 or 90 day, what they call turn policy, aging policy. So that if it was a 60-day policy, once the car hit 60 days on your lot, it had to go away. So you either sold it to another dealer or you took it to the auction and you sold it at the auction and took whatever loss you were going to take. So that smart dealers would be looking at the activity on every vehicle weekly. And so many dealerships today use key machines where it's an electronic device and you plug in your ID number and you plug in a stock number, and then that key machine can print out a report to let you know how many times a particular stock number's key has been taken out of the key machine so you can see what type of interest there's been on the car. So if there hasn't been any interest, then, well, most dealerships are going to start lowering the price to create interest. So if you're a good dealership, if you're on top of your game, you're looking at your pricing weekly and making adjustments weekly so that you would hope to catch a retail customer before you have to wholesale the vehicle, because a retail customer might actually finance.
Which hits on this question, Deb, from Chris. What happens when big dealers like CarMax figure out their entire stock of cars are way overpriced? Trust me, they've already figured that out.
Yeah.
Do they take them back to auctions?
Well, big corporations like CarMax, I would think if I was running one of them,
Well, yeah.
I would be lowering the retail price and not just taking the
question
stuff.
isn't what would rate chefs do. The question is, what do they do? And we know they wholesale them.
Yeah, they wholesale a lot more vehicles than they retail.
No, exactly.
Yes.
It's like, to that point, what do they do with overpriced inventory they have that can't sell? They wholesale it.
Yes. As Igor says, in cases like CarMax, they move them from one location to another.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah,
CarMax,
no, absolutely. Because when I worked for dealer groups where we had multiple stores, well, if it was an aged unit at one store, we would then move it to another store.
We get this,
but the other store that got it didn't want to own it for the same price that we owned it for, because, well, they would never go out and buy it for that price.
Yeah, this is what makes our days on market back on the website so tricky. Is if it's a move intra dealership within the same dealership, we try and maintain the number of days on market, but sometimes they move it around, we miss it. So many vehicles end up getting wholesaled. And at much less high of a profit margin than retail customers.
Oh,
so what did CarMax most recent?
It was like $800. Yeah. It was $800 and some dollars that they made on a wholesale purchase if they wholesaled a vehicle, and that was down like $125 per vehicle wholesale for where they had been. And they wholesale more cars than they retail.
Michael says, "Can you guys please cover my previous question? I can't locate answers to." Yeah, Michael, I'll wait. We'll wait.
What was the previous?
I don't know. Type it back in and we'll answer it.
Okay. Well, you are so accommodating.
That's what we do here at YAA.
We accommodate.
We do. While we're waiting, though, we'll do another pitch. If you go to joinyaa.com,
I knew there was more than one
right now. We've got the car buying program. We've changed up the memberships. We've got the car buying program. It's a one-time. It's not a subscription. It's 60 days. So if you're going to buy a car or 90 days. If you're going to buy a car in the next 3 months, join us. And please don't just take our word for it. Read the success stories. There are 500 plus.
They're not made up?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's incredible.
Okay.
Check my comment array on why. The good, the bad, and the ugly are all here on the community forum. That's what it's for. The YAA Plus membership annual.
The guy canceled his
$120 per year.
Yeah.
But right now, 50 off is the coupon code to use. It gets 50% off. And we have the maintenance and repairs discounts for our members. You get significant maintenance and repair discounts. We had one member save, what was it?
$2,200.
Well, that was on insurance, and then $300 on brake repair.
on his brake repair and alignment.
And we're doing one-on-one video consults. So if you don't want to sign up for something, but you just want one-on-one time, sign up for a video consult.
Yeah.
You can do that right there. Let's go back to the chat pops and figure out, where was it?
I see Michael. There's a Michael.
Yeah, but I got to go back up and find his actual. You're accommodating advocate. Thank you for that. Where was Michael's question?
YAA. You gotta look at that.
Where are you, Michael?
Can you guys? Okay, keep going, because that's.
I know that's what he said. Now look for Michael in the chat.
Well, he did, but
where?
I think you have to go up even more.
Oh, here we go. Value it. Michael asked why lease deals are more expensive than finance deals on a Hyundai Palisade. Pesticide spelling. So why are lease deals more expensive than finance deals right now?
Well, because typically leases are underwritten by the manufacturer, where they will artificially prop up the residual value of a vehicle so they can create a cheaper lease. And leasing was about 33 to 35% of all vehicles sold, and that number is down to, I think, 16 to 18%. So the manufacturers just have not been supporting leasing as much as they had been in the past. So my suspicion is that they just have either an ultra high money factor, or they're using a ultra low residual value, which on both of those impact the payment.
Yeah. And honestly, like, what incentive do they have for it to be leased?
Either way, it's going to get sold.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Dad, we've got a couple questions that have come in. Aaron says, hey, Zach, I used the sell link. We love the sell. Yep, I know you sent this to me as well. We love, if you go on the website, joinYA.com, and use the sell tab or the sell page, you get the aggregated offers from dealers in your area. But Aaron, it said that he needed a manual appraisal and a call. Why would that happen? Typically, older vehicles, or if you've marked that it's had like
a salvage
mechanical issues, or things like that,
rebuilt title,
there's going to be, we could put a number in front of you, and probably not going to be the actual number. And so if that's the case, Aaron, then you got to call. We partner with a company called CarWiser. They're great. No spam. They're advocates for the consumer, just like we are, but they're on the sell side. So just give them a call. They'll help you with that. Hold on. Let's know about affordable insurance recommendations in California. Use the quote tool that we have. Should not be paying $1,000 a month for auto insurance. Probably shouldn't be.
You don't know that. You don't know
if you're not driving Aston Martin.
You don't know. A, you don't know what kind of car they're trying to insure.
And B, you don't know what the driving
and you don't know what the driving.
Are you an insurance agent?
I am not, but I know some of the factors that go into an insurance quote.
I passed my insurance agent exam.
Let's say they were looking to insure that.
I got that quote from YA. I don't know, man. I don't know what to tell you that. I don't know. Call someone else. That seems bad.
I mean, maybe they have like 4 accidents on their record. I don't know.
Sure, that's a really good point. Yeah. Oh, that's funny. Okay.
Oh, it's a 2005 Mini.
A 2005 Mini
for Aaron.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. Yeah.
Call Geico.
You know who would probably give you the largest purveyor of pre-owned minis in this country is CarMax. Now, they might not bid a lot on a 2005, even if it has ultra low miles.
You're talking about Aaron for the
yes.
Yeah, since it's so old, it's going to be, but take it to CarMax, see what they'll do, or go through us.
It's 18 years old. Well, he went through us and
no, then call them. I'm serious. Just call the number.
Yeah.
Okay. Renato wants us to talk about market adjustments. Starting to go away.
Yes.
Except for
they should be.
Except for on like very rare to find vehicles, we're still seeing a significant amount of markups there.
Yes. But the amount of markups has gone down. Just remember this about markups. I say it every week. Markups are just an ask from the dealership. Okay? It's not mandatory, although they'd like you to believe that it is. It's an ask. So it's like anything else. You can either accept that ask, you can reject it, or you can amend it. So if they're asking $2,500 over in a market adjustment, you could say, okay, that's great, I'll pay. Or you could say, oh my God, I'm not paying that. Or you could say, well, what if we could adjust it down to 500? And you can negotiate it. So those are your options.
Yep. And we've got like GL asking, how can I avoid paying for dealer add-ons? It's exactly what you just said. And we are doing our best to take the legwork out of it for you. Go to the community forum or become the member and work with our team. Again, if we're helping hundreds of people each week, we're identifying the dealers that do things right. We're helping to give you essentially the information you need to know what's fair and what isn't.
Yes.
You don't have to guess about that anymore. You don't have to go to TrueCar and get their BS. Like literally just talk to us and we'll help you know what's fair and what isn't. We've got a couple other questions that have come through in the chat here.
There's a cup of hot tea for me when I get home.
We're almost there, Pops. Almost at the finish line. Tommy wants to know, can you make the YA site remember location? It's annoying to have to change every. Absolutely, Tommy. I'll talk to Arash about that. Arash is our CTO on Monday. We definitely should be able to do that. And I think it does it by default. Maybe your browser blocks cookies. I don't know, something like that. But we'll look at it. Thank you.
I'm thinking of maybe cookies with my hot tea.
Sound good, man. Alpha and Omega wants to know, you need a 620 credit score to lease a car. You typically need a higher credit score to lease a car than to buy a car, correct?
Yes, and the reason for that is because the bank is assuming even more risk on a lease. They're the ones buying the whole car, and you're only paying for a portion of it. So typically you need better credit to lease a car than to buy a car.
Mark D, we're waiting for the question. Pop it back in the chat fresh here. I promise not to go do another promo in the meantime.
Yes.
Toyota, great. I have a Camry. What's your question, Mark? We'd love to be able to help you. We'll wait.
Yeah, well, we'll do something.
All right. Now here's while we're waiting, I'm gonna grab your sweatshirt.
Oh my.
Oh, and I see this question came in, so
Okay. Mark's question was.
let me pull it up on the screen.
Okay, yeah, because I don't know how to do that like you do, but it's right there.
Thank you, Dad.
Yep. Moved away.
Regarding large dealer markups, the dealers have an argument that they have to mark up cars because their allotments have been cut in half, but they still have the same expenses, staffs, and etc.
Yeah, that's a great argument. It's not true, but it's a great argument.
I mean, so many. We've
Listen, most dealerships, even selling less cars than they have in the past, they're selling
more profit.
They're selling fewer cars than they have in the past, and they're making more profits than they have in the past. Okay, so yeah, it's a great argument. It's a great argument for a dealer to utilize. It's BS in most cases, because if they have half the inventory that they had, guess what? They probably have half the sales staff that they had. They're probably spending a quarter of what they used to spend to market and advertise that inventory. They have figured out the ways to cut their expenses.
It's called cost infrastructure, and they drove it down.
Yes, they have. So they're just using that as a BS excuse to charge you those
It's a sales tactic.
That's all it is.
Dad, we've got from Creature. I work at a VW dealership. I love the advice you guys give, but I don't see my dealership on YAA. What can I do to help get it on there? Creature, please email me. Email us actually at help@joinyaa.com and just send the URL of your dealership, and we'll work to get it on there. Probably should be up on there within a week or two. So thank you for being a part of our community and making us aware, Dad. And then Elliot says, is there a website to check how reliable a car is? Like how likely it will need a repair before or after 100,000 miles. You ready?
God,
you ready?
I think there might be.
You ready for this?
I think it's ours.
You ready for this, Elliot? Yeah. I've got some good news for you. Earlier this year, actually back in July, right around my birthday, the best birthday present I could have ever asked for, we bought CarEdge.com. The reason I'm bringing CarEdge.com up, for example, or the reason I am is, for example, we could look at a Hyundai.
Yes.
Let's look at a Santa Fe.
Okay.
And let's go research the thing. I'm going to click on maintenance here. And now I am looking at a chart that tells me the likelihood of a major repair on this Hyundai Santa Fe in any given year of ownership. So in the first 3 years, about a 5% chance of a major repair. By year 12, it's a 46% chance of a major repair. Definitely use CarEdge.com for your research, and we are maintenance schedule here as well.
Yeah,
we are doing our best. CarEdge 2.0 is coming so soon. Before you know it, it'll be here. We're incorporating this data, we're enhancing the data, and we're making it easier to understand and find. So CarEdge.com is an incredible resource. I'm so glad that we have access to that now.
Yes, because that'll really help people when they search for a car. That will be able to have that information available by model, so that they can see, hey, is this a good car to have 8 years after I bought it?
We're going to add it to the car search, Dad. So the vision is to be able to compare two cars side by side. What is the likelihood of the vehicle's price be? What's the depreciation over a period of time? What's the expected maintenance cost over a period of time? What's the expected cost to own with insurance and fuel and everything? Side by side. You should be able to look at two cars side by side for that information. 100%.
That's great.
It will be great.
It's coming to a web browser near you soon.
Soon indeed. And anyone who's a YAA member will be grandfathered in to CarEdge. So how long until you guys are bigger than Edmunds? Probably like 3 years.
God, you're dreaming. They've been around how long? And we've been around 3? I don't think in another 3 years we're going to be bigger than Edmunds.
We've actually got the entire team, the YAA CarEdge team, coming here in December.
We do
can't wait. Oh man, it's a small group of us, about 15 to 20 of us that work on the business right now. So give us some time. I'm so impressed by what we're able to do, and then the entire community, obviously, helping us as well. I want to remind everyone that we have brand new.
Mark wants to know: Are you guys rich yet?
No.
No.
3 years, Mark. We're gonna need 3 years for the Edmonds thing, 3 years on the Rich thing. When we get there, though, it'll feel sweet because we've helped a lot of people.
Yes, we have.
All right, we've got merch.
Look at that. That's my new sandstone colored hoodie, ladies and gentlemen.
Out the door price. And what is it on, Dad? A door.
It is. It's on a door. Yeah, I love it. I'll be wearing that next week. I promise you.
Yes, of course. We bought Car Edge. We haven't updated yet. We're doing like this big overhaul. Everything will be updated by the end of the year, beginning of next year. Thank you, folks. Thank you. Everyone's rooting for us. Really appreciate that. That means the world to us. If you would like to buy your YAA/Car Edge merch, shop.joinyaa.com. We got the hoodies here. We got the t-shirts here. We've got the original designs. We got the new designs. If it's taxable, it's negotiable on a hat.
Yeah, I like that.
Some people have bought that, and I just love that.
Yeah.
Knowledge is power shirt.
Yeah.
And the new design, the old design, all sorts of good stuff. Again, shop.joinyaa.com. Kimberly was rocking her What's the Buy Rate hoodie earlier today when I saw her. So all sorts of good stuff there. And then I want to remind everyone, Instagram.
Yeah.
We are really rapidly approaching 10,000 followers on Instagram.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So please, if you're not
what
on
am I up to?
We'll check.
Yeah.
Your Advocate Alliance on Instagram. Let's check out my dad.
I'm up to 1,600. What is wrong with you people?
My dad is at Raz's Jazz, and then I am over here at that is me at Chefska, and I was running today, as witnessed by my story. My girlfriend posted me running, which I really appreciated.
Yeah, there he is, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, and I did not run an ultra marathon.
No, he did not.
Just to be very clear.
Yeah.
Okay. Happy Saturday night to everyone.
That was really nice of you for those who wanted to see what you look like without a shirt on.
There's more video on the internet. Yeah.
Yeah. Zach, you just type in
no,
Zach
don't,
from
YAA,
YAA without a t-shirt.
I was talking to Laura about this. If you anyway, never mind. We're not going to get there.
Well, you can tell me later.
All right, we'll do it right now.
Okay.
All right, so if you go to Google.
Yeah.
If you go to Google, and if you type in, let's see, what happens when you type in Ray Shefska? Ray Shefska YAA, Ray Shefska wife, which is sad.
Yeah.
Ray and Zach Shefska. For those of you who are new to the channel, my mom passed away, what is it, 5 years ago now?
It was 5 years on June 30th.
Yeah, so it's very sad.
Almost 5.5 years.
Yeah. Sucks.
Yeah, it does.
If you
I'll be the first one to tell you. It absolutely does suck.
Oh, I thought it did. So Zach Shefska age, TikTok, Instagram, Ray and Zach Shefska. There was a period of time where it did Zach Shefska girlfriend. Yeah, there it is.
Oh, wow. And it pulls up Laura?
No, I think it pulls up my ex-girlfriends.
Oh,
so like it's not good.
Yeah. No, that is not good.
It's not good.
No.
Good night, everyone.
Shannon, you gotta shout out to Shannon. Thank you, Shannon. Oh my God. So it pulls up ex-girlfriend?
Thanks for being no, we're done with this. We are absolutely done with this.
Man, I had no idea. Does it pull and it pulls up your age?
It's hot in here.
Can we help people with that? He's 20. How old are you? 27?
Am I 27 or 28?
27.
27?
Yeah. 20. He's 27, ladies and gentlemen. And as smart as a whip.
All right, everyone. Thank you for being here with us tonight.
Yes. Are we doing this again?
We'll keep tabs on your health. I hope that you get a good night's rest and you feel better tomorrow.
Yes, me too. And what was that?
That's my girlfriend. Hi, Laura.
Yeah.
At Coach Laura. She is at Coach Laura. If you want, actually, we're gonna shout out Coach Laura right now.
Yeah, I think you should.
And we're just
if you want some of the best physical fitness advice, personal training advice.
Coach Laura's got it, man.
Yeah, she does.
Coach Laura. And if you want a personal trainer, Laura does online coaching.
Yeah.
So if you want to work with her digitally, she'll put a plan together for you. She's a great coach. She coaches me up, which I really love. So she does online coaching. If you're in the Washington, D.C. area, go to her website.
Yeah.
You can work with her one-on-one. She's awesome. So yeah, definitely check out. If Dad, you love a good glute-focused leg day, don't you?
My favorite.
You don't even know how to banter on that one. All right.
Well, what the hell am I supposed to say? No, absolutely. What nice glutes you have. I mean, come on, man.
All right, here we go. Can YAA WAR be purchased for a
Warranty.
warranty.
Yeah.
For a new lease deal. Yeah, you can.
Yeah,
if
but
you're,
why would you?
exactly. But if you're going to,
Yeah.
make sure you know you're going to buy the lease out. And if you're going to buy the lease out, don't lease it to begin with.
Yeah. But yeah, because I mean, most leases are for 3 years. So why would you? I used to work with a finance manager who she was a very attractive young lady, and she wore the most suggestive clothing,
Mhm.
and she nobody could sell extended warranties on leases as well as she did.
Because it makes no sense to get an extended
It
warranty
made no
on a
sense,
lease.
but every old guy that walked out of there with a lease was certain he also had a date. He did not,
Yeah.
but he did have a warranty on his lease.
And it does not make financial sense to lease to
absolutely
own.
not.
Lease to own also is not a thing. If you're just going to buy the car, buy the car. Buy the car.
It's cheaper to buy it at first and finance it than to lease it and then finance the residual at the end. So, yeah. Does this mean we're done?
We're done.
I was
Thank
on a
you,
roll
everyone.
tonight.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go home. I'm going to have a hot tea. You know, if I was back at the condo, I could maybe put a little scotch in there, but the scotch is in Jersey and I'm in Maryland. So, but we'll be back here Monday on the Ray and Zach channel with the news that you can use at noon. And well, we will not be back here next Saturday night.
No, I'm at a wedding.
Another one. Nobody does more weddings than Zach does.
I think it's part of being my age range, I guess. Anyway, thank you.
What are you,
everyone.
27?
Thank you, everyone, for being here.
Thank you all. Have a great night and a great rest of your weekend. I hope your football and basketball teams and hockey teams win.
First 30 minutes was like on topic. So if you came late, just go watch the first 30 minutes. You'll enjoy it. Good night, everyone.
Yes. Good night, all.